Hello and welcome back to Unstuck and Effing Fabulous, the podcast for ambitious women ready to ditch doubt, get out of their own way, and create a life that feels bold, beautiful, and fully aligned. This is episode number 55, and I am your host, Irene Lidvall, confidence and mindset coach. And today's episode is one that's pretty close to my heart because today we are going to talk about something that so many women silently struggle with, but almost no one teaches you how to actually do. And that is how to belong anywhere, the art of building your people in a completely foreign place. And do I know anything about that? Yes, I do, because I am the master of moving. And all my friends, they know that I have lived everywhere, almost everywhere, but not everywhere. I've lived in many, many countries, and I really enjoyed moving around. But sometimes it's harder than other times to move. It all depends on what it is that made you move. And that is this. How do you build a life and a community and a sense of belonging when you are in a completely foreign place? New country, new city, new energy, and new language, and no people. And suddenly you go from being someone to feeling like no one knows you. And that, my friend, can be a privilege or a curse. It's entirely up to you. And it can also feel like no one sees you, no one is waiting for you. And if you have ever felt that way, this episode is going to change everything for you. Because here's the truth, no one tells you. Belonging is not something you find, it is something you have to create. And today I'm going to walk you through exactly how to do that, step by step. And we're going to have fun with it because this is not about pressure, this is about power. So let's start here. Most people walk into a new place thinking, will I fit? Will I like it here? Will I find my tribe? Will people like me? And that energy in itself already puts you on the back foot. Because you are waiting to be chosen if you think that way. But the women I work with, the women who create incredible lives anywhere in the world, they simply don't wait. They make a decision. They decide, I am someone who creates connection. I am someone who builds community. And I'm someone who belongs wherever I go. And I want you to feel that for a moment. What if nothing has gone wrong? You're just in the creation phase. And you know what? This reminds me of a moment in my own life when I was 21 years old and I had moved down to a place called Tübingen in South Germany, a beautiful town on the Neckar, on the river Neckar. And I remember that, I was sitting in my room and I was thinking, I need to go out. I can't just sit here. How do I meet people? If I just sit in my room. So I got dressed, dolled up, and walked into the city. It was on a Saturday evening. I think it was maybe 7:00 or something like that. And it was dead. Everywhere was dead. And I went into one of those wine cellars and there was nobody there. And I thought it was whoa, this is a boring place. Why have I moved here? God, this is terrible. So I walked home, and when I came home, I thought to myself, I just wonder if people go out later in this country. than they do in Sweden. So I waited to 10 o'clock and went back to the same wine cellar, and it was hopping, absolutely hopping. I didn't know anyone, absolutely no one. I walked in, I sat down at the bar, had a glass of wine, and it was so loud, and my German wasn't perfect at that time. And I thought to myself, all right, okay, well, I'll sit here for a while and see if somebody would talk to me, because I was a little bit scared to talk to somebody. So I decided after I finished my glass of wine that, okay, at least I know where I can come, and maybe I should go a little earlier, not 10 o'clock, maybe 9. So I walked to the exit, and there was a whole crowd of guys and girls coming in. And one guy saw me and he stopped me and he said, "You are new here, aren't you?" And I said, "Yes, I am." He said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going home." "Oh, no, you're not going home. You are staying here with us." And that was my lucky draw, that this guy, he included me and introduced me to all his friends, and they were medical students, because Tübingen is a university city. And I had so much fun, and I met so many new people that evening, and we exchanged phone numbers. And this guy, he said, "You know what? We are going down to Alsace next weekend, and if you haven't seen anything around this area, first of all, I'm very happy to show you around, and most of the people that are here are going to Alsace for the weekend, and it would be great if you could come." So I got to know new people, and I made a lot of friends, and it was great. And I had a wonderful time in Tübingen with all my new friends and everything that happened. But yes, I was maybe younger. I was 21, and I was on my own, and I had a job. So I think that makes a big difference if you move for your partner. When you move for your partner, it's a totally different ballgame, because then their friends becomes your friends, and your life becomes their life, or their life becomes yours. And it's much harder, but I'm not going to talk about that in this session. This is for another podcast. We can talk about that, how difficult it is to create a life for yourself if you're totally dependent on somebody else. But there are so many things you can do when you move country, and you want to feel that you belong and find your new tribe and everyone. So, you you then can practice how to be a woman who belongs. And before you do anything practical, I want you to shift identity. Because if you walk into a room or a bar or anything, "I don't belong here," you think that, your body will close, your energy will shrink, and you will avoid eye contact, like I did the first time I went to the wine bar in Tübingen. And guess what? You confirm your own beliefs. So instead, flip it. And I went back, as I said, and it was totally different. And I want you to start saying, "I am the woman who creates belonging wherever I go." Say it when you wake up. Say it when you walk into a coffee shop or a wine bar. Say it when you feel awkward. Because identity creates behavior. So find your people places. And now let's get practical. You don't need more people. You need the right environments. And do you know what? It could be a timing too, like for me in Tübingen. So here what I want you to do to really get your face out there. Pick 3 areas, like movement, gym, yoga, or walking, growth, is business mindset and spirituality. Joy is food, art, music, and nature. Those are the 3 areas. And for each one, choose 1 to 2 places you can go regularly, not randomly, intentionally. Without children, it's hard. So, are you listening? Because random creates loneliness, repetition creates connection. So, become a familiar face. And here's where the magic begins. Belonging is built through familiarity. So instead of going everywhere once, go somewhere often. Same place, same wine bar, same cafe, same walking path, same class, 3 times a week. And at first, it will feel awkward. You will walk in like, does anybody notice me? No. But then, day 3, someone might smile at you, you smile back. Day 5, someone nods, recognizes you. And after a week, someone says hello. And do you know what? Suddenly, you are not invisible anymore. So, talk to humans. All right? Here's the part most people avoid because they're scared or afraid of talking to strangers. But here's the secret. Everyone is waiting for someone else to go first. So it's going to be you who goes first. And we are not making it weird. We're making it easy. Use this as a staple diet of breaking the ice. You can say, I see you here often. I just moved here. Do you know any good spots around here? And that's it. Easy as that. Not a whole TED talk. Not your whole life story. Don't take people hostage with your stories. Just a tiny little bridge. And yes, sometimes it will feel uncomfortable. Do it anyway. Because confidence is built after action. So let's go deeper. This is where friendships are made. Small talk is where connection starts, but it's not where it's grown. So once you've spoken for a few minutes, ask something real. For example, you can ask, what do you love most about living here? Or what brought you here? Or what does your perfect day look like? And do one thing before you pipe in, listen to what they're saying. Because people don't remember words. They remember how you make them feel. So be the one who invites. Now, this step, this is where you lead ahead of 90% of people. You invite because most people are passive. So within a day or 2, say, I've been wanting to try that cafe or that wine bar. Do you want to join me? Simple, light, and no pressure. And if they say no, nothing has gone wrong. You're just building momentum. Create your own community. Now we level up. Once you've met a few people, bring them together. I'm doing a Sunday walk or a Sunday coffee. Would you love to come? And just like that, you go from new person to connector to community builder. And this is where everything shifts. And when I first moved up to the Gold Coast from Sydney, I didn't know anyone. And I went to the gym and I met a few girls, not all at once, but one after another. And I was really being selective because I wanted to build my own community. And I created something called the Friday Girls. And it started out for us to just going for a walk on a Friday morning at 10 o'clock and then having a coffee. And that's where everything shifted. And we had so much fun. We started having aqua aerobics in different pools at different buildings. And then We hired a trainer and we trained out in the park. We then started having spa days. We had once a month, we went out for lunch or dinner, and the friendship just grew that way. And it was fantastic to have this little community because we created rituals. And this is where the secret sauce is. It's rituals. Because belonging isn't built in one moment, it's built in repetition. So create something regular. Like I said, Friday coffee, Sunday beach walk, or monthly dinners. And suddenly you have your people. And we also did Christmas parties and birthday parties. And, we just got to know each other so well, and we had so much fun. But you also have to handle the lonely days in between, because let's be honest, there will be days when it feels like it's not working, where you miss your old life, where you question everything. That's normal. That's the middle, not the end. And those days, get out of the house, move your body, be around people, even silently, and remind yourself, I am building something. So, my love, if you are somewhere new right now, feeling like you don't belong, I want you to hear this. Nothing has gone wrong. You are not behind. You are not alone. You are simply at the beginning, and it's exciting. And you are in the beginning of building something beautiful, because belonging is not about being chosen. It's about becoming the woman who chooses, creates, and connects. And that woman is already inside you. So, if this episode spoke to you, share it with another woman who needs to hear this. And maybe, just maybe, send that message, start that conversation, say yes to that coffee, because your people, they are not missing, they're just waiting for you to show up. I love you, and I'll see you in the next episode of Unstuck and Friggin' Fabulous. Have a great weekend, and go out there and talk to people. Have a good weekend. Bye.